They were always like, let's go do something. And I'm like, it's winter. I'm doing something and it's inside. Thanks.
And now, Cheese Wits.
Hey, Jess.
Hey.
How are you? Hey, Jess, before you tell me. So that's my friend Cisco.
Hey, Cisco.
Hello. Hi, Jess. How are you?
Well.
So Cisco, I've known before I knew you, I've known Cisco for 30, 5 years or so, 36 years.
Okay.
We worked
together. A lot of years.
We worked together in Virginia. He was at there when I got married. He was there when my daughter was born.
Wow.
Oh, I was there when he was born. And
I've known Jessica for about 30 years or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Jess and I worked together. I hired Jess. Well, Jess was an intern at a radio station, and then I stole her away, and Jess and I worked a morning show in Syracuse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Rome, but Syracuse is really what we identify it, because people say Rome.
Yeah, nobody's heard of Rome.
I know.
Utica.
Yeah,
they've heard of.
Yeah.
Well, Utica is that place where when they went on the cop shows, they say, let's bury somebody upstate. That's Utica.
Yeah.
That's Utica. Oh, okay.
That's Utica.
Okay.
New York.
Okay.
And it's sort of like Virginia, where so Cisco's in Virginia, and
we just take you down to the river.
Yeah, well, or they go they go a little bit to the west and they go to Appomattox.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, you can't do you there. We can't get up the mountains and let the bears have you.
Yeah, well, Appomattox is where they're still fighting the war down there.
Yeah.
Well, they don't know it's over.
No, they sure don't.
Same here in Tennessee.
Jessica just bought a new house. She sold her
Did
house.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
And you don't look happy though, Jess. Is something going on?
I'm so tired. There's just so much. Why do I have so much shit is my question.
So she just moved into the new house last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you leave it behind.
That's what you do down there.
That's exactly right.
Oh, so Jessica's is in Nashville, or just outside of Nashville. She's in Tennessee.
Are you?
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
She's in the place where they expel people from the state Senate, and they.
Yeah.
There's good things here too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Dolly Parton was good.
Dolly Parton's good. Yeah. That's
she
Dolly Parton.
good.
I believe Dolly Parton is the only human being left on the planet that everybody can agree on. Because if you don't love Dolly, you're wrong.
I saw something. Boy, I wish I should have kept note of it. Somebody was mad at Dolly.
How are you going to get mad at Dolly for what?
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I can't remember what it was, but I'm going to have to go back and look at it and find it. Somebody was mad at Dolly, and it might involve the young girl she hangs out with.
Who, Miley?
Miley, yeah.
Is that her niece?
Her goddaughter.
Goddaughter.
I know it was somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, if we're gonna talk about the idiots in Tennessee, can we jump back on the Bud Light thing for a second?
The Bud Light thing is so fucking ridiculous.
It is, but this is funny because Wally, I know you're not a TikTok guy.
Nope.
But
Cisco isn't either. I can tell you that.
Well,
I don't even know what TikTok is.
I want you to understand that TikTok is more than whatever you think it is. There's a lot of fun on there, and I came across this.
There for sure is. I know that.
Yeah. I came across this video the other day, and I actually contacted the guy who made it and asked him for permission to use his audio because it made me laugh so hard. So I'm going to need you to listen to this, okay?
Okay.
The guy's name is Josh Boyd, and this is the video that he did.
Hey, everyone. I just wanted to give an update on Uncle Randy. As you know, he had a Bud Light over the weekend and woke up gay. We've been monitoring him, showing him Guns and Ammo magazines, and, trying to bring him back. Things aren't looking too good, though. I stopped by yesterday, actually, and he had taken out all of his Lions Not Sheep stickers from his truck. And then I stopped by today, and the truck wasn't even there. There was a Subaru in the driveway, and I went in and I said, Randy, whose Subaru is this out in the driveway? Is it yours? And he said, yas, bitch. And he threw a handful of glitter in the air and did a backflip out of the window. So he's actually missing now. We're trying to find him. So if anyone has seen Uncle Randy, please let me know.
That's fantastic.
How great is that?
Outstanding. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I don't fucking understand what all of the, what the crap is about the Bud Light. You send one transgender woman a can of beer with her picture on it, and all of a sudden, you get Kid Rock and
here's something I hadn't thought about when we talked about this before, but another actually TikTok creator brought this up. The way that the algorithm works on TikTok especially, but I believe it works this way on Instagram as well, is that it tries to show you things that it thinks you're interested in. So they sent this can of beer to Dylan Mulvaney, the transgender influencer, and she posted about it on her page. So how did Kid Rock and John Rich and Travis Tritt find out about it if they're not looking at Dylan Mulvaney's page? The algorithm brings you what it thinks you want to see.
There was that great picture of Kid Cock, with hanging out some years ago, probably 15 or 20 years ago, with some major transgender. I don't know if it was transgender.
It was
woman. And drinking a Bud Light. I saw the picture
recently. Yeah.
Drinking a Bud Light with a Coors hat on.
Yeah.
He's such a. Are you familiar with what's going on with that, Cisco?
Yeah.
No, is there any sort of talk down your way about banning Bud Light from bars?
No. They don't care. They don't care, and the reason why is a big hoopla because Bud Light is a redneck beer. Simple as that. I don't know no other way to put it.
No,
we're moving forward in the world. When I can look at television and see two men up there hugging each other on TV, so what the hell are you mad about Bud Light? And if you're a real damn redneck, you won't drink Bud Light. You'll drink Bud. Simple as that.
I'm trying to think. No, if you're a real redneck, you're going to drink that Natty Light.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So when we owned the diner and the convenience store, when we had that bodega, Natty Ice was the beer of choice.
Really?
Oh man, Natty Ice. I don't know what that 32-ounce cans. They're huge cans.
Mm-hmm.
Gigantic. It's like the alcoholic's beverage because you can buy 2 of those and be done.
Yep.
And then go ahead.
The alcoholic beverage here is 2011. Those are huge cans.
I don't even know what that is.
You're gone.
What is 2011? What is that?
I have no clue. I just see them get them.
Is that like a local beer?
I don't know because I don't drink them, so I don't know anything about it.
Because when I was living down your way, when we were living down there, I think
this just came out.
The big drink down there then was like Mad Dog and Four Roses.
Yeah, well, it was Mad Dog and Wild Irish Rose. And if you really
Wild Irish Rose. We had a guy who's I
chased him with the bull.
He's probably died. Oh yeah, the malt liquor.
You chased him with the bull.
Who was? I'm guessing he's dead. Tom Lynch.
He's dead. Yeah,
Tom Lynch. Now this was a guy Cisco and I worked with. He smelled coming from the pores of his, but he drank a lot of beer.
Yeah,
and when he walked in a room, coming from his skin smelled like cigarettes and beer.
Yep, he didn't have to drink anything to smell like that.
Oh
just
man,
came out. He stayed full of alcohol all the time.
He was always, but that being
boy
said,
never caught a cold.
He didn't go, and he could run and he never missed a fucking day of work.
Nope.
Functional alcoholic.
Yep.
He was more than functional. He was pretty good.
Yep. Go 4 hour air show, drunk as hell.
Oh yeah, he come in, he could do it. And we had we had young people there who'd come in. Oh, I can't show up. Oh, I can't be here. You called Tom Lynch. He'd be ace and a half into the day. Like, yeah, I'll be there. I might get a ride.
Well,
up.
That's the problem. Up. That's the problem with wannabe party people and party people.
Mm-hmm.
Party people get up no matter what and go to work. Wannabes lay in the bed.
Yeah,
because they can't move. They want to be a party person.
I heard a thing the other day about a principal of a school or a superintendent or something doing a song to his students who were going to go to. This might have been out your way, Cisco, in Virginia. There was a Taylor Swift concert on a Thursday night, and so he did this whole song about you should know better than to go to a concert on a school night, but you better show up to school tomorrow and be ready to work. But it was fun. Like, I don't, it was a funny little song. I don't remember all the words.
Did parents get angry?
Not as far as I know. It was all in fun. It went viral.
You know what, though? It doesn't matter anymore. It's in fun. Somebody's pissed off by it.
Well, that's their problem.
Yeah, I know, but somebody is pissed off by it. So I told Jess, Cisco, we worked. We had a few white guys that worked in the radio station, but I was probably the main white guy that worked in the programming area. I would say at the time. You think, Cisco?
Yep.
Yeah, I was the main white guy. I was and so I was talking about that situation there, but I was telling Jess that you would have some stories, and one of the stories, I don't know this story, but I know you have a better. Back when the station used to take an elevator, there was a man who died.
Yeah.
And I told Jess you could tell that story because it's a frightening story.
Really. Well, this guy was he was a phenomenal radio person. His voice was tailor-made for FM radio. It just was. And he used to be a part-time DJ and a full-time newscaster. And he used to do old school way of getting the information. He called the nosy people on the street every morning. They tell him what went on overnight. This is where you don't have to worry about now going to online to get information. Those days we found the people that knew everything, who died, who was at the Undertaker shop, and what time did the Undertaker go pick their ass up that night. They knew everything. So anyway, and that's where this guy got his information. And then he would call the police department, in which they don't want to give any information. And they were saying, well, we didn't know that either, but he knew all this stuff. Well, anyway, we decided, we got paid one morning, and he came where I was, and I said, I hate to put it this way. I'm like, you got my $20. And he said, yeah, I'll have it in a minute when I come from the bank. What happened was the elevator got stuck in between floors. Other people jumped off the elevator. He was a large man, so he jumped off the elevator, but he started to fall backwards. And the gentleman he was talking to, Wally was talking about a moment ago, Tom Lynch, grabbed him. But you're talking about an elephant and an ant trying to hold an elephant back, because Tom probably didn't weigh 100 and some pounds. And he slipped out of his hands and he fell, I don't know, 5 or 6 stories to his death.
Oh my God.
And
that's one way to avoid having to pay up your $20.
I'm like, ain't this, you know what I'm saying to myself, ain't this some shit? You know what? That's the devil talking to you. But anyway, he was really a good guy, but that's what happened to him.
That's insane.
Cisco never got $20.
Huh?
He never got you $20.
Hell no. I was sitting at the funeral. I'm like, I was sitting there and another guy was sitting there and said, they talk about he was a wonderful guy. He said, he owe you any money? I said, hell yeah, he owe me $20 now. And he said, well, hell, he owe me 50. So, I mean, that's just the way it was. You know? I mean, this was the guy that could owe you money. You walk with him in the bank, watch him get his check cashed, and tell you a story that was so believable, you would want to give him 20 more. That's the kind of person he was. And he wasn't. That's just who he was. He should have been in the major market, to be honest with you. But he was too busy shysting. And when they got him out of the bottom floor, they had to put a bathtub down there, put him in the bathtub, and bring him out by a crane.
Oh my
That's
God.
how large he was.
He was a big man.
He was a big man.
And he owed a lot of debt.
He was the type of guy, his grandmother loved people. She loved DJs coming over to her house. He would tell us that grandma made sandwiches. Come on over and get one. And we get there and eat the sandwich. Then he'd tell us we owed him $3. This is, I was like, in those days, I won't make much money. I'd be like, hell, I didn't eat but a half a sandwich. That's all I ate. And, I can't afford no more fooling with you. But we all missed him because we couldn't find another news person like him. And for some reason, have you guys ever ran across a person that was up to no good, but everybody liked?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was him.
Oh, he's not
That's
good, but he's a good, but you like him.
Everybody likes him. You know you're not going to get your money back, but that was.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What happened to your sound, Cisco?
Cisco, you just went silent.
I'm back.
There you
There
go.
you go.
There you are.
You
So
you must have hit something. We got you.
speaking of Chris,
You got me?
speaking of Chris, should we address the fact that he's not here? We're not waiting.
Oh,
for
yeah. Chris isn't here today. Oh, we lost Cisco.
But it's almost like he is because we just lost Cisco.
Uh-oh. This might be hard getting him back. Let me see.
All right.
I'm back.
There we are. Okay.
I don't know where I went, but I'm back.
Well, it's good to see you again.
Well, we got it.
Yeah.
I can't
I don't
see you
think
or
you-
me, Wally.
Hold on. Here I am.
Okay.
The camera,
There's
Jess.
me. Okay.
There you go.
I'll see everybody now.
All right.
And we're back.
What did I miss?
So we were
Cisco.
about to explain why Cisco's here instead of Chris.
Yeah. So Chris is our third partner who is part of Cheesewits. And you're here because he's not here. And he's not here just because.
He's in Vegas or something.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although he's not
some
doing
sort of
like I saw him post the other day that he was in Vegas and at 9 p.m. he was in bed in the hotel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was a picture of him under the covers watching TV.
speaking of people who know how to party.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's
he
young.
must didn't understand. He didn't understand. You don't go to bed at 9 o'clock in Vegas.
No.
Yeah, Cisco, he's like 44 years old. He's young.
47.
And he went to bed at 9 o'clock alone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he's got a fiance.
Is she with
How
him
old
in
is
Vegas?
his
I know he was
fiancée?
traveling for work. Did she go with him?
I don't think so. I think he would have said something. I think he would have showed some pictures. I think she's 10 or 15 years young, 15 years younger than him.
She's in her 30s.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. He's 47. She's 30 something, 32, 33.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got, and has he been married before?
Several times.
He's been married. I thought he just had girlfriends or.
No, he's been
women he
married
lived
at
with.
least
He's been-
twice.
Shut up.
He talks about his ex-wives all the time.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always hear just ex. I don't hear the wife part. I hear my ex.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought it was like women he had long-term relationships with.
No, he's been married.
But, yeah, so-
he's been
so
married
he's out
twice
Vegas
and he's been engaged
convention.
several times.
Good Lord. What does he do? Walk around with a pocket full of rings?
Apparently.
Hey, he's got a ton of those.
He's just looking for love.
He's got a bunch of rings. Yeah. Well, he's in love this time though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Has been
He would have
since
to be.
what,
If you-
last January?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
If
been
you're
in
in
love.
Vegas by yourself and you're in bed at 9 o'clock, you must be in love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Vegas is a temptation city for sure.
Yeah.
It sure enough is.
So to be in the bed watching, and it wasn't even porn he was watching. He was just watching a regular show. He was just
You see,
watching regular TV.
It never even occurred to me to look for that.
Well,
No, kidding me? I did. I was looking, saying, "What is he watching?" Nope, not porn. It's just regular TV.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would not put it past him to be watching the just the hotel channel that tells you tomorrow we have this going on at the hotel, and the breakfast bar will be this, and if you need an extra pillow, dial 011. all that bullshit. The worst hotel I've stayed in quite a few hotels. Jess, you've probably stayed in a lot of hotels.
Yep.
I stayed in Salt Lake City. What a fucking boring town that is.
Oh, I have a.
It was. I was just outside of Salt Lake City, and it was a dry town. I have a Salt Lake City story. I have a Salt Lake City story. Yeah. So, guy I was dating years ago, we decided to go spend Christmas with his family, who lives in Salt Lake City, and neither he nor I was outdoorsy, let's just say. But his sister and her husband and their family were very outdoorsy. They were always like, let's go do something. And I'm like, it's winter. I'm doing something and it's inside. Thanks. But they decided that what would be fun was to go hiking in the Wasatch Mountains in December. And nice.
There were only 2 pairs of snowshoes. And so because the guys were the biggest of all of us, they got the snowshoes and the rest of us just had to do without.
Trudge.
And that snow was at least knee deep as we're hiking uphill.
Wow.
And I just remember going, because I was a smoker at the time. And I said, it's okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. My dog thinks something's wrong with me. And also I was repeatedly asking if 911 could get there if we needed to call them, because I was sure I was going to die. And they just were rolling their eyes at me and whining, or at my whining, and just like, ugh, we can't take her anywhere. I thought I was going to die. And then we get to this cabin where they got married, his sister and her husband. And it was beautiful, but then they were like, okay, let's go back now.
Yeah.
I hate those people.
Not for me.
I hate them.
Yeah, not for me. I'm not a fan of doing any of that shit. I think we were all for Cisco, you don't smoke anymore.
No, I had a heart attack and I had to stop.
How long ago did you? I had to stop. Wait, I had a heart attack and I had to stop.
I saw the damn hospital bill and I quit.
Yeah. How long ago?
About 10 years.
Yeah, I haven't smoked in about 22 years.
Wait a minute. What's the date today?
Yeah.
Today is as of 2 days ago, I have been a non-smoker for 4 years.
Okay.
So look at that, all non-smokers. Now, feel better? I felt better. I felt terrible the first 3 months. I did not see any benefit or bonus or anything. I was like, ugh.
I gotta tell you, I felt no different. I felt no different. Food didn't taste different. I didn't breathe any differently. I felt no different. And I think that's a fucking ripoff because I still want cigarettes.
The food tastes the same. Mm-hmm. The smell is the same.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is right now, if somebody's around me smoking, it smells kind of strong like to me.
Same.
Yeah.
But I live in Virginia. I quit smoking and they make weed legal. Now, what kind of stuff is that?
Yeah, weed's legal.
They're waiting for me to quit smoking to make marijuana legal.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
So I have a lot of friends from back in the day who would smoke a joint now and again and talked about, if marijuana was legal. None of them smoke it. None of them are fucking heavy into it, except for the only people I know are people who use it medicinally.
Yeah.
Or in a medicinal way, but recreationally, I don't know a lot of people that use marijuana recreationally and take advantage of it's legal.
No,
I do, but
the only people. Yeah.
I was just going to say they're trying to take it away again here in Tennessee because anything we enjoy here in Tennessee they don't want us to have.
Well, I gotta tell you though, and I don't. This may be age speaking for me, but I see people all the time while I'm out because I'm out a lot, and I see people out all the time who are high, and they are fucking boring, listless people. There's nothing amusing. They're just sort of going through the motions of life when I see them out doing things. And they find humor in certain things. I can see them laughing at certain stuff. They're amused, but they amuse nobody around them. And they're not bringing any amusement to me. Bring some amusement. What I want to see them do is like reach up for like a 2-liter bottle of soda, because the 2-liter bottle is always above your head. And they're in those fucking tilty racks and you pull one out and the next one slides forward. Please pull one out and let the fucking next one fall out and hit you in the head. Now you're going to amuse me. Now I'm going to laugh. But really, I don't see. I don't know. I just don't see it as a great thing. At least as a recreational drug.
Well, not for
I think I use it too much as a recreational drug and try to live.
In Tennessee, they can't keep that legal because it's interrupting the sale of moonshine.
That's a fact.
Now, you can't have two things that were illegal legal.
Is moonshine still big there?
There's a. You ever heard of Old Smoky moonshine?
No.
That's like the commercial. That's the commercial brand of moonshine that's sold in liquor stores all over the country now. It comes from here.
So I don't drink enough to. I just don't drink really.
It comes in jars and everything.
It does.
Fuck up.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, I once in a while will have a Bloody Mary, or maybe a gin and tonic. But when I say once in a while, I don't think I've had it. I think I had an alcoholic beverage once this year.
Wow.
I had a Bloody Mary pre-mixed out of the Bloody Mary can. It comes already pre-mixed and ready to go. No, actually, it's mixed and you pour it in some vodka. I had one of those, I think, back in February. Other than that, I don't know. Even though I like a Bloody Mary, what I really like about a Bloody Mary is I like the big olives, the celery, and some salami. I like the dressing. I like
my friends shared a picture the other day of some stuff that they had gotten that was Captain Morgan, and it was like an orange vanilla twist. It made me think of a creamsicle, and they said it tastes really good with vanilla Coke. And I was like, well, I got to go to the store.
That does sound good. A dreamsicle drink sounds good.
Yeah.
What was it? Captain Morgan's?
I think it was Captain Morgan orange vanilla twist, something like that.
I'm going to have to try it.
Kind of good.
They could be a sponsor. So Captain Morgan, you could be a sponsor.
People might say that I like lady drinks, maybe, because I like those kind of drinks. I'm not a Bud. What?
Are you a transgender drinker?
I might. No, I don't like the Bud Light.
Well,
no. If I'm having a beer,
what's that?
Wally, when you drink, do you hold your pinky finger up?
Yeah, I sure do.
You're borderline.
No, I'm a borderline transgender. I have empathy. That's an empathy finger.
Oh, is that what that is?
Oh, okay.
I'm showing you right. Yeah, I definitely do. Well, this big one I won't, but when I do. I've got
you're
it out.
borderline.
No, what it is as I've gotten older and my mobility isn't good, this is a stabilizer. I'm using it as a rudder of sorts. It's stabilizing so that I can keep things in balance. That's what that pinky's for.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Wally, you failed the test.
Yeah,
you're not borderline anymore.
I've gone over to the other side. No, if I drink a beer, if I were to drink a beer, most likely it would be Miller High Life.
Okay.
Or Amstel. Or an Amstel. Or something with it's hoppy and citrusy.
Okay.
But other than that, I just don't like it that much. I don't like the taste of beer that much, especially Budweiser and Bud Light. I think those beers taste like piss.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Budweiser,
like cabbage.
Well, in Virginia, we call Budweiser horse piss.
Well, I this.
There's something that they do. They brew their beer differently than other brands. And I discovered probably 10 years ago or so that I get migraines from drinking it. Anything made by Budweiser.
Drinking what?
Any Budweiser.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe there's a secret additive.
It's something. Somebody told me it has something to do with they use rice instead of wheat or something. That doesn't make any sense to me because I can eat rice and it's fine, but something in their brewing process gives me a migraine, so I don't drink it, which is fine. I'm not missing anything.
That was the other thing I was seeing a lot of people talking about Budweiser. It used to be an American beer.
Budweiser.
You know that the guy's name is that makes Budweiser was a German, right? He comes from Germany and makes Budweiser beer that Budweiser's invented or created by a German.
Yeah, even the name of it, Budweiser, the way that it's spelled, it's German. Right. It's a German word or German pronunciation.
They've ruined an American product. You fucking dummies. They're just stupid. They're just stupid. Mm-hmm. All of them. You can't pay attention. And I don't understand how they're so stupid. And I'm not attacking you guys at all, but you don't see a lot of that shit in the Northeast. You don't see a lot of, redneck attitude. There's rednecks here. Maine's got some rednecks. Mm-hmm. We sure as shit do. Mm-hmm. We got people that live off the grid, and we've got those kind of people in Maine. And there's but nobody really worries about that kind of shit. What you see a lot in Maine is people who are afraid of progress.
Well,
we don't want to change things. We don't want this. We don't want that. But they could give a shit if you're gay.
Right.
They don't care if you're gay or you're trans. No one gives a shit. Mm. I don't see anything. What they do care about, though, is there's some hate groups here going on. They care if you're Jew, if you're Jewish, or, there's all kinds of hate shit about Jewish people.
That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
I know it is.
What
and there's
year
a lot
is
of hate
it?
for black people, but mostly for immigrant black people, Somali, Afrikaans.
Do they know that our whole country is immigrants? Do they know that?
Listen, they still think Jesus was white. They still think that Jesus was a white man. Yes, of course, he was a white man from the Middle East. We know that the Middle Eastern man is a white man.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Fucking Jesus was black. Let's face it. Or if maybe he wasn't dark black, he might have been a light-skinned man, but he was a black man. He was a man of color. If you believe in that kind of thing, and I happen to believe that Jesus existed, right, but not in the way it's described in the Bible. I believe in Jesus more as a guy akin to Martin Luther King,
somebody who was a leader and who got people to follow him and believe in his message and his mission. Yeah. Right. I would agree with that.
About slavery.
I think what gets lost a lot of times is that people forget that the Bible was written by people, like human, fallible people.
Hundreds of years after the death of the guy who was called Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't written on the spot. It was written hundreds of years later. So those stories are passed down. They're not unlike a Grimm's fairy tale.
Exactly.
There's unbelievable, crazy stuff going on, right? Where we're feeding, the masses with one loaf of bread. We're turning water into wine. We're locusts, and we're turning people into pillars of salt. And I mean, all this kind of shit is going on. Those are stories, man. They're just regular stories. And they're written 400, 500, 600 years after the death of the guy that they decided to follow. And I don't know all the particulars, but I've read, and I'm not an expert. I really don't even have much knowledge, but that Christianity is sort of a ripoff of previous religions that sort of worked in the same way with the same sort of leadership in the foundation as Christianity, that there was the same sort of religions already existed. Just it's like Beta and VHS. One of them had to win.
Right.
And in the Beta VHS war, VHS won. In the Christianity versus previous, Christianity won.
Yeah.
They had better marketing, and they're very good at marketing now.
Well, most people that have a multitude of different types of religious backgrounds chose one that fit their needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone should understand that there was a creator. Actually, Jesus' face was that of clay, and his eye, for what I can depict of Jesus, if you'd have seen him, he'd have scared you to death. It wasn't what you've read. It wasn't what you've seen. His eyes were as fiery red as they could get.
He was a mud man.
Right. But we could all agree on one thing, that there was someone that walked this earth that had people to follow him.
Yeah.
And made them understand that there is a hereafter.
Well,
now, as a buddy of mine always says, I don't know whether there's a hereafter or not, but I ain't taking no chances.
Yeah. So I'm a non-believer.
Same.
Okay.
But I don't hold. But believe in what you want to believe, because it could fucking be true.
Exactly. I'm not gonna push my belief or lack thereof on anybody else. And I believe that there are some positives for some people that come from being part of organized religion. They get community out of it. Maybe it helps them through a tough time. People get something out of it, and I think that's great. It's just not my experience with religion in the past has made me not want anything to do with it.
Mine too. Mine too. And then that's the reason why. But lots of people, it's fucking their thing.
Yeah.
They believe, and some don't believe in every piece of it. They believe in some of it because some of it brings them comfort.
I think
other parts of it don't.
What gets me is the people who, one, believe that their faith entitles them to dictate how other people should behave, because those people say nobody can judge me but God, while they're running around judging everybody else and creating laws that affect everybody else based on their religious beliefs. And the other thing is,
speaking of that,
yes.
Keep going.
I already forgot it. Go ahead. I forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Speaking of that and Tennessee, I saw a religious right group has put together a petition to remove the person in the Tennessee legislature that pushed for the removal of the two Justins.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, so here is the religious right coming and saying, "Hey, you know what?" And I'm not sure it's a Christian group. They've got 1,200 over 1,200 or 12,000 signatures to remove or ask that guy to resign because he's being an asshole, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice thing to see, that someone stood up and said, "Fuck you! That's not what we're about.
Yep,
we're not about fucking judging people and throwing them out because they don't agree with us."
And I sent you that article, Wally. One of the Justins got put back in.
They're both back in now.
Are they both back? See,
both the Justins are back.
I've been too busy to follow anything. I saw that randomly in a link. I think someone posted a link or something, and I saw it randomly, and I haven't had time to pay attention to anything else. But yeah.
I had compared that, Cisco. I compared that to the crucifixion of Jesus. When I sent to Jessica, I was talking to Jessica, and I said, on Good Friday, they expel these guys the day before Good Friday. So the next day on Good Friday, these guys are expelled from the Senate. And I said, you watch, come Easter, they're going to rise again because they're going to put those guys back in. And sure and shit, one of them was back in.
And they had no choice.
It was the resurrection. It was
exactly.
It was just fucking crazy how all that came around. And It just felt in such a religious guy. Those two guys, by the way, I don't know if you've seen them speak, but one of them is a fucking incredible speaker.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
Justins.
Yeah.
The one with the big fro.
Yeah.
Right.
Is an incredible fucking speaker. He's a good orator.
Mm-hmm.
He's really
That's
good.
the problem. It's a funny thing about people. It's especially folks of color. As long as I act the way you want me to act, I'm fine with you.
You're right.
Yep.
When I step out of the mold or the spectrum, now we have a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
What these two guys did was they stepped out of the mold
Mm-hmm.
and stood up and said, y'all are wrong. So
Yeah.
now I'm not the good black guy no more.
Well,
No, you're suddenly the uppity black man.
and
Exactly.
this is also happening in one of the states that's currently banning books.
Okay.
Why are we banning books? Because we don't want people to be educated. If they're educated, we can't control them.
Exactly.
You're fucking 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
When
Exactly.
I lived in Virginia, and I'm going to try to make this quick as possible. I lived in a nice little house, little 2-bedroom ranch, brick ranch, on a dead end street. Next door to me lived a judge. Across the street, a guy who drove a race car, and behind me, a young family. And when I was ready to move, the first thing, the judge next door, I knew he was trouble, but not right away. I knew he was trouble because he had a delivery from the Food Lion one day. His groceries were delivered, and the delivery was a black man. The black man was not allowed to step on his porch,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
on the judge's porch. He was a retired judge, because that was too close to his house. He was allowed to walk into the yard, place the groceries on the porch, and the judge would come out, but he wasn't allowed to hand anything to the man's wife, because he didn't want a black man having contact with his wife or seeing her.
What century was
and
this?
he was conveying this story to me. So later on, Jess, and I think I've already told you this, but since Cisco's here, I'll just bring it up. So later on, when I moved, I was trying to rent. I was going to sublet my house to a guy we work with, Tucker. Remember Tuck, Cisco?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was subletting to Tuck, and Tuck was a guy who had a lot of problems in life. He'd been using some crack, and he had some drug issues, but he was trying, and he tried several times to fucking go straight. And one of the best things could have happened to him was to get out of where he lived in downtown Lynchburg and to get into the country somewhere. And so he was going to sublet. Neighbors heard about it, spray painted my rental car with N Lover all over it. And when I had gone back down with my rental car to move that day, it's spray painted. Tucker decided not to take it because he was afraid, and he should have been. I went next door to the neighbor who was the judge and said, "Did you see anybody?" He said, "You better get off my fucking lawn before I shoot you. You should be ashamed of what you're doing to this neighborhood." That meant letting a black man move into the house I was in.
So stupid.
I drove the car back to the radio station. And remember that big country kid who
Darby.
No. The country kid on the FM side who played football at like LSU or something.
Yeah.
What was his name? He was fucking a big guy. He was a big fucking guy. He
Mm-hmm.
was a offensive lineman.
Yeah, I
And
remember now.
I drove the car back to the radio station, and I said, the guys came out and they saw it. And mind you, I'm working at an urban station. It's all black folk. And they saw my car and said, "Oh, Wally, you need some help moving your stuff?" I said, "Sure shit, do." And they all came to my house and helped me move the stuff out that day. It took me about an hour to get all the shit out so I could drive it back home into the moving van.
Wow.
And nary a person came out of their house to say another word to me when they saw those big black men in my yard helping me out.
Well, I lived through that.
I know.
I bought a house, and the guy across the street, he looked like Mr. Peabody. And he came out and said, "Guy, you leave early in the morning and you're home earlier during the day." Well, people don't realize that DJs didn't work 40-hour weeks. You could be back home by 1:00.
Mhm.
Easy. Well, what do you do? I told him I worked for Internal Revenue Service. And what was his name again? I never saw him again.
That's brilliant.
That was the end of him.
Here, I wanted to, here's something I did, Cisco. I want to see if you remember this. So I used to like pulling pranks on the air. And so Cisco used to have a catchphrase around the building, and it was, "Excuse me." Cisco said, "Excuse me" all the time to everything. You'd say, "Hey, Cisco, I need you to, can you cut this commercial?" "Excuse me." Like, because he was on his way out or something, right? Yeah. So I had to record that, "Excuse me," onto the reel-to-reel. And Cisco used to have a feature every morning, and I forget who sponsored it, but it was the birthday bag. And he'd say birthdays out of this, pull names out of a bag, and someone would win a little personal birthday cake every morning. Mm-hmm. So I took his, and then he had a jingle that would, what the hell did that say? I remember, I forget what the jingle said, but it said something. So I recorded over it. I took a different card and just took the label. I didn't record over the jingle, and I just put on it, Cisco saying, "Excuse me," but in front of it, I put a big burp. Went burp. And his voice saying, "Excuse me." he hit that motherfucker 3 times. I was up the hall doing the morning show in the countryside. He turned off the mic and said, "Wally, I'm gonna kick your ass." He come out of that fucking studio. I closed it. I was afraid. I thought he was gonna take me down.
They did everything. They did everything to me. A couple came in. I had the birthday bag in my hand. They set it on fire.
Yeah. I think that Ricky Hill did that?
Yeah, he came in and set the bag on fire. I was the bag on fire, trying to continue to do this contact.
And the bag in his hand burning.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing. Once we had been there for 2 days, we were taking turns sleeping on the couch because we had a major snowstorm. They decided to tape me while I was laying there snoring and played it back over the air. So,
man, I love some radio pranks.
We did a lot of stuff.
I used to do so we had the program director of the side. So I used to do mornings on the country station. Then I went down and did middays on the urban station. And I was the production director and blah, 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 blah. And the program director on the urban station was Mad Lad Goins. And Mad Lad had a couple, he was so proud of his cars. He owned some apartments, but he had a DeLorean, but he had this red Corvette that he loved. And Mad hated rednecks a lot. And he particularly hated this one guy who used to do remotes for. The guy who used to give away a car, Cisco, at the remotes. Who was that fucking guy? He used to do commercials with a
Toyota.
So I took his he had a thing on around his license plate, one of those before they were cool, a thing around his license plate that said, I don't know, Mad Lad, the hippest DJ or something. I don't know what it said, but I took it off his car and I put the one for the redneck Toyota on his car. And he didn't notice it right away till the next day. He come in, he was motherfucking hot, and he again, Wally again almost got killed. And it was just the best. Here's another one. We had a girl who did news for us. Now, the way these studios were set up is she was in the middle. She sat in the middle studio, and there was a glass on one side. And on the right side was the FM country station. On the other side was the urban station. Mm-hmm. And she was perhaps the meanest radio woman I've ever known in my life.
Really?
Is that right, Cisco?
Yeah, she had to be.
She was fucking so mean. She swore more than any man I ever met. She threw shit.
Are you talking about me?
Just mad.
Come on, you're talking about me.
No.
Oh, Jess, you're a pussycat compared to this girl. What was her name?
Marie Keene.
That's it, Marie. And she was married and she had a baby. And I remember she'd bitch about her husband constantly and bitch about the baby constantly. One morning we're doing the news, and we used to have those old tape caster players that you'd pull the little handle to lock the card in.
Mm-hmm.
And one woman, she used to throw carts around and break them all the time. One morning, she fucking got she was just pissed because it wouldn't work. She slammed her hand on that thing, caught it wrong. I thought she broke her fucking
I thought she had broke her arm.
She hit that motherfucker so hard. She laid down, she rolled up like this. She's holding her arm. She's starting to cry and swear and bitch and moan. But you never seen, she was 30 seconds away from news. When news came, bam. She stopped the pissing and moaning and crying. She did the news, cut her off after the news, and went right back to holding.
Right back again, the moaning and groaning.
I really thought she busted her fucking. She hit that thing so hard.
That's the worst when you are throwing a temper tantrum and you hurt yourself and everybody knows about it, and then you're like, everybody. That's what I would have been crying about. Is everybody seeing me get my penance for throwing a temper tantrum?
I one time was putting in a new mailbox, and I was using a drill to tighten up bolts on it because kids kept knocking down the fucking mailbox. So I'm tightening it up, and the thing came around real fast, and it torqued me and twisted my wrist. And I went, "Oh fuck!" And I took that thing and I threw it, and it bounced off the mailbox and hit me in the head, and I got wobbly. Yeah, it always happens. You get pissed off. You try to take vengeance on that which is getting you, and it fucking gets you. And that fucking thing got me and hit me in the head.
Speaking of pranks, radio pranks, there was a guy I worked with in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. He went by the name Moonshine on the air. And Moonshine did mornings and I did afternoons, and we shared an office. And we used to call each other on the air all the time and just give each other shit and prank each other. And I cannot remember for the life of me what he did to me. But the next morning while he was on the air, I came in early and took his entire, like his desk, his whole setup. We shared an office. We had separate desks and stuff on the wall and stuff. I took his entire office, his side of the office, and moved it out into the hallway, but set it up in the hallway exactly the same way as it was in the office.
See, radio was good for that shit.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fucking fun. It's just fun shit. So Jess doesn't know. So Jess still works in radio. She's worked in radio forever. I'm not working. Cisco, you've been driving a bus forever, correct?
Yeah, I've been driving one for 29 years.
Wow.
29 years. And so I'm guessing you've got some bus stories that I would love to hear. A bus story. Do we have time?
I guess the only one that I really could tell is when people get on the bus, they don't ask where the bus is going. In other words, I could be driving a bus to Washington and they think it's going down to North Carolina, and it's not.
They just,
and the drunks get on. I had a drunk get on the bus. It was raining. He got on the bus. I said, "Look, man, that container, that bottle of wine is open. I haven't drank nothing. I'm not going to drink nothing. I need to go home. I said, "All right, let's go home." Now, this guy's about 4'11". I tell him that if I see that brown bag go up in the air in between those seats, I'm going to put you off. We've been on that route about a half hour. I can't find the guy. I look in the back. I cannot find him. All at once, I looked just a teeny bit above the seat. There's the brown bag. He has gotten in the floor back there, gulping it down like it was his last. I get up and pull the bell and said, "This is where you get off at." And I said to him, "I told you I would put you off if I caught you drinking." He said, "Yeah, but you didn't tell me how long I had to stay on here and don't drink." Said, "How long?" He said, "Yeah, Cap. I gave it a damn good 15 minutes before I took a drink. You just caught me. The bottle was empty."
Yeah.
But I deal with a lot of good people. The only thing that really bothers me is some of the homeless people. And this guy tells me one day, "I'm not homeless. I really just don't have an address." I'm like, how the hell can you be homeless and you telling me you don't have an address? He said, well, where do you live? I'm not going to tell you where I live because this bastard wants to move in.
Yeah, he was showing up.
It'd be like, it would be like the Jehovah's Witness, and he would be one of them standing at the door.
Oh, we've talked about Jehovah's Witnesses.
Looking for a place to live. So
I used to bring those kind of people home. And I remember my wife told me when Jody got pregnant.
Which kind? The homeless kind or the Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yep, homeless people. Oh. I'd bring them home, feed them. I brought home a guy one time who was had no money, was trying to get to a bus. So I brought him home. We fed him. He took a shower. I brought him down to the bus station. He took off. My wife got pregnant. She said, no, you can't be bringing people over here anymore. And I said, but they're homeless. They need help. She goes, no, I'm a pregnant woman. And you ain't bringing home homeless people no more to this house. You just can't.
But see, so many of them I run across. All right, we had a guy here. He lived under the bridge. Okay. He had the Taj Mahal of being homeless. He had lights.
Wow.
He had been somewhere and got a whole lot of car batteries, had tied them all together, and rigged it up for him. He had lights.
That's genius.
So how is that guy homeless though?
He was living under the bridge.
Jess, what'd you do to your hair?
What do you mean?
It looks lighter. Did you lighten it?
Nope.
Huh. Must just be the lighting there.
I just washed it. Maybe that's it. I washed all the dirt out of it.
No, it looks lighter. It doesn't look as red as usual.
I don't know what to tell. Maybe it's the lighting in here. I don't know.
Yeah, it must be the lighting. Yeah, I don't understand. So we had the homeless guy. We have. Listen, I don't even know if some people are homeless.
No,
because there's a guy near the Walmart here. He sets up a lawn chair. He's an older guy. He's probably he's somewhere between 60 and 70, but on the old side of 60. And he brings his dog and he ties his dog to the sign that's across the drive where you're exiting Walmart, and he sits in the middle between traffic coming in and out on the little island there. Mm-hmm. And what he does is he drives his fucking big pickup truck, parks it in the hotel parking lot, which is right next door, because I watched him get out of the fucking truck, grab his shit out of the back of the truck, and set it up. And then he holds a sign saying homeless. Need money.
Maybe he got that truck before he was homeless, and now he lives in the truck.
He has two different, because when he doesn't drive the truck, he has a Subaru he drives. Mm-hmm. So, and on occasion, you'll see his wife come get him. Mm-hmm. So it's so I don't fault him. I just can't tell if you're homeless. It's hard to know. I want to help.
I think that's because we, as a society in general, we have this expectation that people are homeless, are supposed to look and behave a certain way and have certain, I've seen people say, well, you're homeless and you have a nicer phone than me. Well, you don't know how the person got that phone? You don't know how the person got that car?
Well, that's not my issue. My issue is people who are capitalizing on the homeless by saying, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
Because some of these people look like groups that work together. That it's a group led by one person who keeps a certain amount of whatever they gather each day. Sort of like elite, because you see them move from place to place. There was some homeless. There was people claiming to be homeless. It was a younger group, 2 people in their 20s. This was last summer, and Cheyenne and I, my daughter, were driving by. She goes, I know them. And I said, how do you know them? They're from where she went to college. They're from, and it's quite a distance away. She said, they live in a place in X town. They're not homeless. And they were out there doing homelessness, holding a home. We're homeless. We need help. We've got a kid, whatever. Like, what the? So I'm upset about the people who try to capitalize on other people's misfortune. And it's hard to tell who is homeless, who is not? How do you tell? Who are you really helping?
I just
It's
feel like
giving money to
I just
somebody.
feel like we should help who we can help and not try to decide who's deserving of it. Because there's some reason that they're out there. There's some reason, you couldn't give me enough money to go sit in a median begging for money from people in cars that happen to be driving by. There's nothing you could do to make me want to do that.
But because we have some self-respect and some other things.
But there's some reason that those people are out there, and I don't think it's up to us to determine whether that's a valid reason. It's either I can help you or I can't help you. And I can't help every homeless person I see, so I'm going to pick and choose.
The thing is, I want to help too, but I don't want to help you if you're not homeless and you're stealing from the homeless by saying you're homeless.
Who's beeping?
Cisco, are you beeping?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to leave.
Oh.
Hello? You there?
Yeah.
We have here a lot of college kids that are playing homeless.
Mm.
And I've seen them park a car behind the car wash and go out on the medium strips. Now, you're taking away from a person.
That's it.
That actually does need.
Yeah.
Okay. It used to be here in Lynchburg, begging was paying $50 a day. At that time, that was more money than you could make a day at McDonald's 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened was they said you couldn't beg no more on a certain area in Lynchburg. What they forgot was that the fire department was coming out there with fill a boot for charities. Guess what? They couldn't come out and beg anymore either.
Yep.
So now you got the beggars laughing because it's like, we can't beg, you can't beg. Can none of God's children beg? I only have one problem. You're standing in front of a construction site and you're standing there begging. You should be begging for a job.
Mm.
Yeah, there were.
Here in Lynchburg, there are plenty jobs available.
Yeah,
I don't know what the secret,
There are plenty of jobs here too.
I don't know what the secret is, how you live without working. I wish I knew the secret because I would be doing the same thing if I could figure out how you could make money and don't go to work.
Hallelujah.
But they are doing this.
Yeah, and I'm with you there.
And the only time that I give to anything is for senior citizens. The ones that I know that have worked all their lives and get nothing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you can hold a sign in your hand for 8 hours saying, I'm homeless, I need money, you can stand with a sign that says for the construction company, stop, slow, and go.
You got a point.
Is it still a thing that you can't get a job without an address?
Yeah, you can't. You've got to have an address.
Mm.
But all of these people are not living. All of these people are really aren't living under a rock either.
No, they're living somewhere.
Mm.
You know, I mean, like Wally said, I drive a city bus. You've been out there begging all day. You don't stink. So you're taking a bath somewhere. And I know it's not in a creek. So I know that you are living somewhere.
Mm.
And also, I know, Jess, you mentioned the phone thing. I don't know about you, but I pay a monthly bill on my phone.
Well,
It ain't cheap.
the big thing now is you can get a government phone.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how prevalent that is. I know it's possible,
And there's prepaid service too.
but you still got to pay for it.
Yeah, but you don't know you don't know if they're going and buying a card for that or somebody has gifted it to them. Whatever.
Maybe.
You can have in Lynchburg, you can have a government phone or a tablet with free data. You pay nothing for it. And all you have to do is show Medicare, Medicaid cards, or food stamps. And you get just as good a phone as and yours is free.
Hmm.
So
It's so hard to determine this stuff. So me personally, I don't give to any of those people. None of them.
I got news for you.
So
If I know, if I meet a lot of people. If I know that you're really down on your luck, and I was looking at a guy here. His family is supposed to be living in a van. He has 2 speakers on a stand. He has a whole PA system. The violins are electrified.
we had
And
that.
you're telling me you're homeless.
And
And I told him,
players.
why don't you go pawn that shit and find you somewhere to live?
We have one of those violin. He plays at Walmart quite often. He plays a violin, playing music, but he's not playing the violin. He's playing a track.
That's all.
He's playing a track. He makes it look like he's playing, but it's really nice music.
It's real nice. I mean, it is real nice.
So I don't give to the people on the street. I do give to there's a shelter that is called the Center of Hope. That's where I give. I give directly to the Center of Hope. They house homeless folks or people who are indigent or women who have had to escape abusive situations with kids.
Exactly.
But I just don't hand money out anymore on the street because I don't feel confident that the person I'm handing it to is not stealing from someone who actually needs that assistance that I'm wanting.
Well, as a buddy of mine always told me, if you want to tell whether a person is legitimate, look at their feet. If their shoes look better than yours, then you need to get a job with them. I gotta go. I enjoyed it. Good meeting you, Jess.
Good to meet you, Cisco. Thanks for joining us today.
I'll do it again sometime. Take care, Wally.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
All right, bye-bye.
Now let's see how long it takes him to get out. Oh, he did it easy. He did it so. It's really weird. He's
still there. Don't talk about him.
I was going to say it was really kind of weird for me to have Cisco here because he was sort of a little bit of a mentor to me back in the day.
Yeah,
because I was a young buck, and he was he was a veteran by that time.
Kind of like you were for me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But he was sort of a mentor. It's weird to look. What are you doing?
I'm trying to leave.
Just hit that red hang up button.
He might be worse with technology than I am. Yeah, hit the little phone. There's a red button. See the red phone? Hit that. You'll be gone.
Oh, I wonder what that was. I was scared to touch it.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute, it's gone.
It'll tap your screen. No,
just turn. Now you turned yourself around.
You reversed it.
You know what? Just turn off your phone and then turn it back on. You'll be all set.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, I'll talk to you, brother.
Y'all be good.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye now. Yeah. So it's a. If they could just see what we can see, right?
I know.
Yeah. I'm back.
You never left.
I thought I was gone.
Where's Margie? Tell her to come in and help you out.
I'll take it upstairs where she is.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. Wait.
No, that just turned his screen off.
Oh God.
I think Cisco, you're hitting the camera button instead of the phone button to hang it up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, just hit that red phone down at the bottom of your square. If you can see one.
I don't even see a red phone.
No.
I see all kinds of stuff.
Let me see. What do you have to put on? So you know what? Can I disconnect them?
I don't know if you can or not. Let's see.
I don't think I'm worried that if I hit the red phone on him, I'll disconnect us.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
no, he's gone that time.
There we go.
Now he's gone.
Yeah, you're right. He is worse with technology than you.
Oh, Lord. But I think Cisco's he's almost 70, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's about 10 years older than I am. But I've known him such a long time. He's such a good guy.
Seems like a real nice guy.
He's a super guy. And so I think the funny thing about him is I know that I have some ideas and some internal thinking that's because of my age.
Mm-hmm.
So his is even further than mine.
Yeah.
So there's such a progression. And so, I've got a younger daughter and you've got younger people in your life, and you can see that progression.
For sure.
And no matter what these people think when they're 20, by the time they're 60, they're going to be here.
Yeah.
This is going to be their thinking. They're going to reevaluate all the things they think now. They will reevaluate because of life learning, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not because you just change. It's life learning and life experience, and it changes you. And as much as young people don't want to listen to old people, and old people don't want to listen to young people, the listening to each other brings us all to this middle place.
I tell you what, the young people are making people listen in Tennessee right now. Have you seen all the videos of the protests in downtown Nashville?
Yeah. Yes,
how incredible!
I think that there's some big trouble there for the conservative folks in the area, because the young people said, "Oh, you're going to listen to us now because we've had enough of this shit."
Yep.
And I think. Did you hear any of those inside audio they had from some of the private meetings of the Republicans?
Mm-mm.
And some of them were saying, "Listen, I've been called a racist more in the last 2 days than I've been called my entire life, and that's not what I want to be known as.
Yeah,
I am not and people getting scolded for waffling on the vote." And it was such a strong arm deal.
Somebody, I saw a video the other day where somebody said that, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was something like, Gen X basically stays out of this stuff, except that those kids that are protesting right now, those kids that are getting shit done, they're the children of Gen X. So Gen X played the long game. We raised the ones that are going to bring the shit down.
Right. And the thing is too, it's about time. It's about time.
Because it's fucking absurd. In 2023, we've already gone through this with Black people. Like, why are we continuing to have the same conversation for 100 years?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
You're right. So I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about today, and we've probably run out of time.
Yeah, we're over an hour. We should probably save it for the next one.
Next, I want to talk about fucking bicyclists.
Okay.
I fucking hate them.
Well, then I'll talk about how ADT showed up at my fucking door again. And this time I wasn't home, but I watched on the, I watched on the Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
This man knocked again, opened the storm door, knocked again, then rang my doorbell, then took a step back and looked in my living room window. And then left a business card with his phone number on it, and I sure as fuck called him. And he was lucky not to answer, but he got an earful in his voicemail, and then I reported him to ADT.
How? So you've had, I think, no less now than 6
Yeah.
different
and
people.
2 of them directly ignored the no soliciting sign.
How fucking big is this town you live in that there's 6 independent ADT guys riding around?
It's pretty big.
You know what I would tell you? You know what I told that last guy? Listen, man, you better get somebody who's better at combing the files of who's moved in, because you're number 6.
I just chewed him out and then sent the Ring doorbell footage and a picture of his business card next to my no soliciting sign is literally, it's touching the Ring doorbell. It is next to it, touching. He couldn't have not seen it. So I took a picture of his business card, held it up in front of my doorbell with the no soliciting sign next to it in the picture, sent that to, there's a compliance email address on ADT's website. They actually, maybe you should try them when you need to cancel your service with them, because they replied to me the next day. The first time I said, make it stop. All the emails and the mail and the phone calls and the door. And so I emailed them back and said, here's the Ring video of this man looking in my window and banging on my door repeatedly while he's ignoring my no soliciting sign. And here's the picture of his card so that you know who it was and the sign that he ignored to ring my doorbell. And she hasn't responded yet, but
That's some balls, though, to be looking in your windows.
yeah.
That's fucking
pissed.
some balls.
I am so pissed.
Yeah, that's so not cool.
Mm-mm.
Your hair really does look a different color.
Mhm.
That light, it looks like a sort of a it's not bright at all.
You know what? I had to get a new laptop for work because the old one was shit.
Or maybe it's the camera on the laptop.
And
Maybe
the
that's
camera
different
is
color.
terrible. So our IT guy sent me this, but I ran out of time to
Nice.
fuck around with it today. So
Hopefully it's a
plug.
plug and play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so does my camera look good? I mean, I realize it doesn't make me look any better, but I'm a clear shot and all that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a Nex ago. I think I paid $35 for it.
Yeah, these are super cheap these days. I actually looked at getting one myself, but then I remembered that I could make work buy it for me because I would use it for work.
Okay, we'll talk next week when Chris is back.
All right, bye.
Bye.